So we're live for the first time in like 3 weeks. It'll be a normal podcast, but that's fine. Shit happens.
Nice.
Summer plans happen and everything like that, and you're just like, hey, we're gonna have some fun, right?
I went on a trip.
Did.
It was a good time.
Yeah, have to talk about that.
Yeah.
But while we are on the topic, and first off, hello and welcome to another episode of It Never Ends. Good Lord, you take off 3 weeks and you forgot what the name of the podcast was for a second there.
I mean, to be fair, we normally don't. We forget.
I know, that's why I felt that it was important to actually do it this week. Anyway, I'm Andrew. Over there is my good buddy Alex. How you doing today?
I'm doing pretty good. How you doing today?
I'd be doing just fine. So Concord, what the fuck happened there? Oh wait, they shut it down. They shut it down because they charged $40 for a free to play game.
Not even a month, dude.
Not even
Holy
a month.
crap. I thought it would be bad. Like I said before, I didn't think it would be that bad.
I mean, neither one of us were. Both of us were just going, "Why the hell is this $40?" I remember that. That was the number one thing we kept saying is, "Why the hell is this $40? Why the hell are they charging money for this?" It's just,
I don't get it. I really don't. They made so first off, some things that we should probably get into. It was revealed that this game has been in development for over 8 years.
Yeah.
Which how?
How?
So it's like they started developing it around when
that'd be
Overwatch was winning Game of the Year.
2016, yeah.
Yeah, so they were probably like, oh, we'll just make a game like Overwatch. We'll price it like Overwatch, and it'll come out that way. No, that would have worked out if it came out in like 2018.
The gaming scene has changed so much since that point. Especially when it comes to like hero shooters.
And the fact that they did nothing to adjust their like revenue model to reflect that is shocking to me. And I want to let everybody know because it's like, well, they wanted to put tons of time into the game, add maps, whatever. Like, no. There is no game under the sun that takes 8 years to develop. None. Not even like the most high-profile games out there take that long. Like, typical dev cycles for a AAA game normally take between 3 to 5 years is like the norm. It can typically push a bit beyond that. But if things are going well, it should not take longer than that at all. So I'm guessing by that it was stuck in development hell for a long time. Nobody had a concrete idea on what they wanted this game to be, and they eventually just took what they conceived as like their best ideas and just smushed them into whatever product they had then and just put it out there for $40.
I mean, pretty much, yeah.
Because at that point, Sony was like, we need to put this out there.
Well, they're just like, we spend so much time and money on this. It's just like, even if it fails, we'll at least get some return on investment. Yeah, no. At some point, you know what they say about some point is you just need to pick up the shovel and just stop digging, because that's what they needed to do with Concord. They needed to pick up the shovel and said, however far we dug is how far we dug. We can't keep wasting our time digging a deeper hole.
So they effectively went the skull and bones route.
Pretty much.
Great. I think it's absolutely hilarious too because, like, did you hear they also released sales numbers for this game?
Yeah.
And a lot of people were like, well, it's not doing well on PC, but I bet it's doing big numbers on PlayStation 5. The game, between all platforms, sold 10,000 copies.
Way
10,000.
Way less than I thought. Like, next to, like, there's only one other game that I can think of that had a launch this bad. And it's like, it's a game that everyone forgot even came out. It's like, back in, like, 20, I want to say, like, 2017 or something like that. Do you remember the
What game
Culling
was that?
2?
Oh my god.
That is the only game that I think that had a worse launch than Concord, because that was.
Well, to be fair, that was like a smaller like indie title.
I
It was
understand
made
that,
by
but the
these
game
guys
was
that
up
made
for
it.
like a week, maybe.
I think it was only up for a few days.
Maybe, yeah. That's
yeah,
why
I
I
don't
was.
think the game even sold 100 copies.
No, it didn't. So I was just like,
Yeah,
I was just
remember
like,
that. That was
wow.
funny though.
Yeah, no, I'm not saying it was like, but it's just like I've never seen a game go up and then servers are shutting down literally like later that week, later that week or whatever, 2 weeks I guess from when it launched. And I'm just going like, man alive, that's wild.
I can only imagine how the execs are at Sony are feeling right now, though.
Dude.
Because I'm sure a bunch of them felt like, oh, well, this game is going to, even if it doesn't do well, it'll still do okay. Like, I guess Quidditch Champions numbers, like maybe it'll get like a solid 2,000 people playing at a single time. No, it did not even reach that by any stretch of the imagination. And I think a bunch of them were shocked by just how badly it went, because I hear, according to rumors, that there was a bunch of like PlayStation devs that were told to play the game in order to boost player numbers.
Are you serious?
Apparently, like a bunch of people from like Guerrilla Games and stuff like that were given free copies of the game and just be like, oh yeah, say in social media you're playing it and you're having a great time, and you're like, oh yeah, all the devs here at PlayStation are playing to support our friends at Concord. It's like, man, we need to get people that work for us playing on free copies to boost player numbers in our live service hero shooter. My god.
Well, I don't. It's one of those things. Like, we definitely did see this coming. Like, the ridicule was out there. People were obviously not talking about it. The marketing was very bad for this. It's like I didn't even know it like when it happened. And when they went from closed beta to an open beta because not enough people played the closed beta, I was like, that kind of told me, I was like, they are praying that anyone plays this game, basically.
Well,
and I'm just like. And it's like, there was no, like, it came out, and then I was just like, oh, that game came out? I had no idea, and now it's shutting down. Yikes. I
mean, it sucks because... yeah.
I don't know, you go.
I'll let you go ahead.
No, you go.
No, I've been ranting enough. You go.
What the fuck were the Sony devs, or, like, not even devs, like, what were the Sony executives thinking when they were, like, when this is happening? Like, was it really just like we spent so much money into this, let's just keep digging type thing, or was it like the writing's on the wall,
So when they first invested in Concord, I'm sure they thought it was like going to be like the next big thing. Like, comments from Herman Hulse basically confirmed that Sony had a lot of faith in that project because, and I'm sure from their perspective, they were like, man, live service is the next big thing. We've known about Sony's big live service push with Marathon and all that other shit, which is apparently also not looking very good.
No, it's not.
That's another story. But so I'm sure they saw this game that Firewalk was making, was like, okay, this can be our game. So they bought the studio thinking that it was going to be like the next huge thing. And then they put it out there, and I can just imagine that sinking feeling when they were like, hey guys, we need to make the closed beta an open beta because not enough people are playing. It's like, oh shit. I can't even imagine being one of the people that invested in this.
The people that
I feel
the people that play this game, I think, deserve a medal.
Mm-hmm.
Like, the people that, like, anyone that bought this game and put like an hour into the game, I think deserves a medal.
I mean, they're getting a refund.
I know, but like they need to have something that says like, I bought Concord day one or something like that and played it for like an hour. Like, I feel like
a T-shirt or something like
yes,
that.
they need a T-shirt that's They need, on top of a refund sent to them, they need a T-shirt that said "I played Concord." It's like, I know they're turning off the servers. Like they said they're going to explore other options. Do we legitimately think that this will come back in like a year as like a free-to-play game and see any success?
I think maybe they'll try and bring it back as a free-to-play game, like maybe to recoup some of those costs, but no, I don't see this game making any like meaningful like comeback or existing as a live service in any capacity.
Yeah,
I think that if anything, they'll come out with a free-to-play model. It'll be up there for like 2 months, and then they'll shut it down again.
Yeah, at that point, I would just say don't even fucking bother. Like, again, you got to put down the shovel at some point. Just put down the shovel, take the L, move on.
I mean, the whole live service, industry is kind of crumbling in on itself because one of them that I thought was actually doing pretty well was I think I mentioned in a previous podcast that I thought X Defiant was doing okay. Apparently, I think it like came out either today or yesterday or in the last couple of days that apparently the game has lost so many players and the people that are playing aren't spending any money to the point where Ubisoft has been told, okay, unless Season 3 can like significantly boost player numbers and, revenue and stuff like that, we're going to shut the game down because it's doing that badly. And Season 3, mind you, comes out a few days after Black Ops 6 drops.
Good Lord, man. Are you serious? I didn't know that part.
I was shocked to hear that because that is a live service that actually had a pretty good launch. But no, we have all these different like big live service games that are coming out, and none of them are landing because nobody wants to spend time, grinding out battle passes on all these different types of games.
It's funny to
so
think.
Even if
I don't know,
I'll let you go
it's
ahead.
funny to me to think that how much the gaming scene has sort of changed over like in such a short time. It feels like when it comes to what's like the big games or whatever, and it's like multiplayer games are never really gonna go away, but it's like it kind of feels like we went from that push to like I can think back to like 2016. It was around that time I felt like was like a lot of single player games. Like there wasn't a ton of multiplayer games out there. There wasn't like a significant like live service push or anything like that by a lot of games. Like there was a couple, but nothing major. Then from that point on, it was like we're going to try and push multiplayer games and everything from that on forth. I don't know if that was like everyone kind of saw Overwatch kind of take over the world around that time, or was it more of like, was that around the time that like Fortnite kind of came out, or that was later, right?
That was later.
That was later. Like I'm thinking it was like, was that like PUBG or something like that? Might have been. I feel like it's still too early for that.
I think the way it went is, honestly, I don't think Overwatch had as big of an impact as a lot of people thought it did, at least not until much later. I thought, with, obviously Overwatch coming out and Battleborn fucking failed, more and more studios were like, man, we should really try making more multiplayer. And then, obviously, Battle Royale came out, and that took over the fucking planet. Now, every studio under the sun is trying to make a Battle Royale.
Yeah.
And after that, as, Battle Royale started, tapering off, more and more investors kept seeing more, big money coming from these
numbers that
games.
they bring in. Yeah.
So so I'm sure from their perspective, where they were thinking like, okay, even if this market is oversaturated, we should still try and make like a multiplayer product that can bring that same kind of money in, which is where projects like Concord, X Defiant, whatever this Harry Potter Quidditch thing is.
I mean, that's what it's called, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, Suicide Squad, and remember Redfall? Apparently that was supposed to be a live service.
Yeah. Yep.
Where all these games started popping up because, these companies started thinking like all we need is like the one that'll stick and it'll generate billions of dollars for us.
Well,
So,
and you're absolutely right. You are right. And it's just like that is pretty much the timeline of what happened over the past, like, I don't know, 10 years or so, a little less, 8 years more likely. But it's like it's crazy to me that it was like single player, and I think as kind of like more people got online or whatever, and it was like maybe that was really supplemented by COVID and everyone being locked in their house for a while. It was like a way to stay connected with friends without actually like seeing your friends in public or anything like that.
That definitely helped. 100%.
That definitely helped it. But it's interesting even during that time watching from like 2016, 2017 when I was like PUBG and like Fortnite first came out. It was just like that was like the time, like the battle royale time. Like that's when like everyone tried to make a battle royale to compete with Fortnite, PUBG or whatever like that. And only like really Apex stuck around. And it's like But then even going into COVID time or whatever, it was less about playing with each other in more competitive settings and more of just like playing with people like co-op almost, like sort of things, or like party games. Like, well, there's a reason Among Us really blew up around that time. It was just like it was a way to play with your friends, have some fun, and just like not in a super competitive scene, I think. And also it was just great for content creators.
Yeah, I think part of it was Among Us. I think another big one was obviously it didn't stick, but I remember there was when it first came out, a lot of people were really excited about Back 4 Blood, because it's like, oh, it's a game being made by the Left 4 Dead people, and it's same general name, same general concept. A bunch of people were super excited for that game. And I think a lot of companies saw that and was like, oh, well, people want more co-op games like this. Maybe let's start investing more in that.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely like it feels like publishers, or I don't know, big corporations have stopped trying to make games and are just trying to hop on whatever the trend is. And I feel like that's kind of where I feel like a lot of games are landing in these days, where it's like, oh, let's not do, let's stop listening to developers actually pitch cool ideas, and let's just go whatever trends. Oh, what's trending right now? I don't know, space games or something like that. Into the battle royales, Marvel Rivals will probably reignite the
hero thing,
the hero shooters or whatever. Considering that Concord definitely did not do that, but. If anything, does that turn off? I mean, here's the thing. I don't think that, one, we're not saying Marvel Rivals is going to fail, because it will succeed because it has the Marvel name on it.
100%.
But it's like,
and it's free to play too.
Yes, and it's free to play. But it's almost
Concord.
Curious to me is that does this turn off people from like getting into like the hero shooters or whatever, or if it's just like, or was this a hard lesson to Sony saying, if we're gonna make a hero shooter and every other hero shooter is free to play, we got to make this free to play.
I mean, I definitely think that's a message being sent to Sony. With Concord, I think it's one of they see it more as a failed experiment, because you have to remember they still want to launch 6 more of these live service games.
Yeah.
Fucking somehow.
So
my only guess is what they're doing is that they're throwing a bunch of shit at the wall and just seeing what sticks, because I can't earnestly believe that the execs at Sony thinks that all of these live services are going to maintain like a big player base and will succeed. So I think they're just tossing everything they can at these live service games, hoping that one of them will be the one that makes billions of dollars for them. Which, why wouldn't you just make Destiny 3? But I don't know. That's just me.
I don't know. It just feels like when it comes to like these big corporations, like even in Sony is, I don't know. Maybe it's just like they're a whole like, oh, we're gonna make a bunch of a bunch of live action games or whatever.
Live service.
God, I did fucking. This is what happens when you don't do this for 3 weeks. It's live service games, and they said they're going just like. Do we even do this anymore? Like, if there's not somebody at Sony right now that says, hey, maybe we should really
Not
take
do
a
this.
hard look at these games that we have here. Now, I know this is a pipe dream, but maybe we should take a hard look at these games here and ask ourselves, do we continue them? After the rousing failure that was Concord? I'd have to believe that no, but I don't know what they have all in store. One could be good.
The issue with a lot of these executives making these decisions is that, like you said, they are trend chasing. And the issue with that is they're like, okay, well, this is popular. Let's make one of these. But games take a fucking long time to develop. By the time that they got a, feasible product, the trend is over. People are over it. Or the market's saturated, or they're so dedicated to this one game that's already in that genre, and you're just offering no incentive for people to switch to anything else.
Yeah.
So it's like we're chasing these trends, but by the time we've chased the trend is over. It's like, who was asking for another hero shooter in
Nobody.
fucking 2024? Even with Marvel Rivals, I guarantee that game would see no levels of success if it did not have the Marvel branding on it.
Oh, 100%. If that did not have the Marvel thing on it, no one would play it. Mm-hmm. Or at least it definitely wouldn't be talked about. It's like, what does it do differently than Overwatch? It doesn't really.
Really nothing, no.
Really doesn't. It's just that they're basically just like, oh, here's all the gameplay from Overwatch or whatever. But because the cool thing is to hate on Blizzard or whatever, it's just like, here, come play our game or whatever. It's basically the same game, but it's all for all your favorite Marvel your heroes.
Heroes,
I'm like,
yeah.
Great. It's crazy. I don't know. It really comes down to it's that I think at some point enough of these games are going to have to fail or will fail in the end, and or I don't know. I don't know. I hate saying it like that, but it's like until they actually wise up and start actually proactively making games or whatever, or listening to good creative ideas or whatever. Then you can actually start making good games again and not just follow a trend, but be a trendsetter. I don't know.
That's the great thing about a lot of indie games that come out nowadays is that
they're the ones that set the trends.
They're the ones that set the trends. So you would think you would give your devs more creative freedom, being like, you guys know what you're doing, make something fucking cool that a lot of people will like, and we will give you money for it. But instead, these executives are coming in and dictating every last thing that these developers are doing. And what happens when these games fail? People talk to the developers, and they're always like, "Yeah, we have bad leadership.
Yeah,
this game was directionless. It was inspired by a desire to chase trends and make money and do nothing else, and that is why the game sucks." Sorry, it's so disheartening seeing these interviews with developers, and they're like, well, yeah, but what did you guys want us to do about it? We had no say.
We made the games that you said you wanted us to make, and they're ass. What can I say?
We wanted to make another Batman game. You told us to make Suicide Squad.
We wanted to make another Batman game. We wanted to make something completely different. We wanted to make something completely unique and awesome and everything like that. But you said, no, it's too much of a risk.
Man, remember when they were talking about doing a Superman or a Wonder Woman video game?
Yep.
And then they did that instead.
Yep.
I feel so bad for so many of these developers, because you can tell that most of the time they don't want to be doing this.
Oh, of course not.
And it's like I don't. It's like even with Concord, it's not like I wanted that game to fail.
Oh, absolutely not. But you could see the writing on the wall.
We could see the cracks. You could see the writing on the wall. You obviously feel bad for the developers, but it's like, well, I'm not going to play it, and I'm not going to spend $40 on this shit. I'm sorry. A lot of people just aren't willing to make that kind of investment for a game that should be free.
Yeah.
It's so sad, man. It's so sad whenever we see a game like this just tank.
It's like you oftentimes think of like how different it could have been if it had launched free to play. Like, would people have played it? Could it have stuck around? Could they have fixed problems that it had? I don't know. We'll never know, honestly.
I honestly don't think it would have ended that differently, to be honest. I think
Probably not, but definitely
better.
lasted longer if I had to guess.
It definitely would have done okay, I think. If they had just put it on Steam and, Epic Games Store, PlayStation, just said, hey, yeah, everybody on these platforms, go ahead and download it. It may not have done great, but it probably would have lasted at least a month, you would hope.
I don't know. It's just one of those things where you just like, we'll never know. You would like to think that it would do somewhat decently or whatever, or maybe stick around, maybe find a niche market or whatever, but because someone decided, oh, we're gonna put this $40. What? Why? Well, because Concord doesn't own the player. The player owns Concord. Yeah, guess what?
Yeah.
Not so much anymore. Oh man.
I always thought it was funny when I would see those posts where people are like, well, Concord's doing everything you guys said you wanted them to do. It's like there's no microtransactions, which that didn't turn out to be true, by the way. You can
really?
all cosmetic. Okay, apparently they did open a cash shop for skins and stuff.
Ay.
That's one marketing point flushed down the fucking drain.
Yeah.
It's like there are no battle passes. It's like you buy it once, you own it forever. What more do you guys want? Like you pay $40 and then you own it forever. Well, I don't want to pay $40 for it. That's just not how the industry works. And like you said, the thing that you predicted, that every single review of that game that I saw always said there's no meaningful progression in that game.
Exactly.
It's like you're not unlocking or earning basically anything. So what is all this time investment for?
It's my number one problem I have with like fighting games a lot of times or whatever. Mm-hmm. It's like you people always get excited about like Tekken or Street Fighter or whatever. Those types of games, and I get there going. It's just like, what are you playing for? You're playing for your own satisfaction of getting better. It's like for some people that's 100% of reason to it's a reason to keep playing because you enjoy the game and you want to get better at it. That's fine. I understand that. But for some people, it's like you need to have some sense of progression, even if it's just for skins for like a character you want or something like that. That is progression in some people's mind. It's a reason to play beyond that. Oh, I'm just having fun. So when they said, oh, there's no thing like that, it's like, oh, well, you unlock skins or whatever or something like that, through the in-game currency or whatever. Mm-hmm. Sure, I guess, but it's like, if all heroes are open or whatever, then you can play them. Basically, it's just like, why? What kind of progression is there? Like, there's not.
What are you unlocking? You can't upgrade these characters. You can't upgrade their weapons.
Yep.
You can't. There weren't that many skins in the game, and the ones that were there were crap.
Was for the story that was apparently supposed to happen every like few games or something like that. That was like cool. I could care less.
Oh, like the weekly story.
Yeah.
That they had.
I could care less.
What a stupid fucking idea, dude. What a huge expense that was always going to go nowhere.
It's like if they had made this a single-player game with like this multiplayer aspect to it, it actually probably would have been a good game.
That is... At some point, I have to believe, because they had a star map in game that was just for lore or whatever.
Oh, absolutely.
I have to imagine at some point that they were going to have some sort of like single-player thing to it.
This is where I come back to the point that I think you said earlier, where it's just like you have all these like higher-up manager, CEO type people or whatever telling them how it's like, oh, we're going to make this like single-player game, Concord, with like, it's going to have this multiplayer thing, but we're going to focus on the single-player because we want like people to get invested in the characters and the story and everything like that. And then there'll be like a hero 5v5 deathmatch type shooter game, people can do it on the side or whatever. And the CEO just goes, oh, well, people love hero shooters. Overwatch is the big thing at the moment because, remember, this is 8 years ago. So it's just like, make Overwatch. And I'm like, but we have all this other stuff done for this, this, like, story mode and everything like that we were going to have with this game. Yeah, no, scrap that. Go with this. And I go like, all right, so what did we just spend the first 4 years of development on? Absolutely fuck all nothing.
It's so frustrating too because it's like even Overwatch at that point, Overwatch 2 was going to have like single player stuff at some point. They could have gotten that niche market. You have a reason. There's a campaign that you can that's what you're spending $40 on.
Yeah.
It wouldn't have had to be great, but it would at least be something.
And you could have done the route that like Halo Infinite went with, where you could play for the story. Like $4 would have been for like the story mode or like the single player, whereas the multiplayer could have been free. It's that simple, man.
It would have been that easy, and it's like if you want to get invested in these characters and this world, then you have a campaign that you can always like buy and get into.
Yeah,
it's
like,
but no, this weekly story thing that they think was going to get anybody on board for this.
Was anyone going to be invested in this? No, fuck no.
No. Because it's like it would have been one thing if it's like, well, every week we're gonna have like an in-game challenge or an event that relates to the story beat or what's happening or whatever. But like, if they would have done like that, would be even less feasible. Like to have like a weekly campaign mission come out.
Yeah, no.
But no, we're gonna just release a 2-minute cutscene that somebody could easily just put on YouTube. And that's what's going to, help us retain a player base. I don't get it.
It just feels like a very flawed concept all around.
That's why we were talking about this at the beginning of the podcast. Part of me thinks that they just didn't think this all the way through. That they were like at some point, okay, we spent too much time on this and we have too much money invested. Just take what we have and put it out there.
Uh-huh. Yeah, I mean, it's just like, even if it's shit, we'll get something back in return, But that didn't even happen, and because they're refunding all the players, that they're literally just out all of the money at this point, and it's just like you sit here going, just like, and if they legitimately plan to bring this game back at any point in the near future, or whatever. You're going to be spending more time on dev time. You're going to be spending and everything like that, revamping the game. Even if you, like, let's say that they put it out in a year's time where it's free to play. You just put more dev time in there and everything like that. You're paying the employees all the money and everything like that. Then you got to pay for the servers to come back up or whatever for what will probably just be a browsing failure again.
It'll be, in any case, a huge uphill battle. There's very little chance that they will ever find like a significant player base, even if it's free to play. I think in part because the game just has this horrible reputation connected to it now.
Exactly.
It's like, oh, they're going to bring back Concord. It's going to be free to play, guys. Free to play now, guys. And, I'm sure everyone will play it and everyone will love it, and everyone's just going to look at it and be like, oh yeah, that's that game that couldn't even get like 100 players in for like a 24-hour peak. It's like, why would I play that? Why would I buy that?
Or what people were saying is when they saw the initial trailer for it, it was just like, oh, it almost looked like a heist game over like, a hero shooter or whatever. It's like, oh, what if you turn it into like a sci-fi like Payday almost or whatever in that kind of way. And I said they're going just like,
oh, they're spending more than a year.
Yeah, exactly. Then you're developing a whole other game at that point.
Yeah.
So it's just like at that point, just scrap this, move on to the next game, and do that. I don't even have the name because again, like you were just saying, you have the reputation of Concord. Everyone's gonna go, oh yeah, that piece of shit. Yeah, that's the kind of reputation it has now. So it's just like you're better off just scrapping the name, scrapping it all. This is, Alex, we found it. We found the next Anthem.
I think even Anthem did better
than this, bro.
Fucking Redfall did better than
Which
this.
that's saying something, bro. That is
hell?
saying something, man. Good Lord.
I
Man.
I simply do not understand.
It amazes. It shouldn't amaze me. It's at points of how out of touch the people, the high up decision making can be when it comes to a medium like video games, where clearly they don't play video games. They don't really enjoy video games. They just know video games make money and people are really passionate about them, and they can make just a fuckload of money on it. So it's just like, oh, and again, like we were saying, let's just continue the trend, and then we'll make our own one, and everyone will love it. And I'm like, you don't even know what the hell you just said. It's like there is so much wrong with what was just said. So much, but they think that they're fucking geniuses for it, and I'm gonna tell you right now, you're fucking not.
And they make millions upon millions of dollars every year by doing effectively the bare minimum.
Yeah.
Like, oh hey, this is popular, make that.
Yeah. And then you go to like your one studio that's like is just like, oh, we have all these really cool concepts for games that we can make. No. All that's dumb. This though, Concord, I'm all about that, baby.
I do gotta say, Ubisoft's probably feeling pretty good about themselves right now, being like, yeah, Outlaws probably didn't do very well. At least we did better than Sony.
God, you're so right. We weren't the biggest failure. Yay!
Just imagine being like the Outlaws devs, being like, hey, yeah, this may not have gone great. At least we didn't do that.
Yeah, it's like this may not have gone as well as we had hoped or anything like that, but man, we didn't do that. I'd have a party just for that.
Yeah.
It's like
the game director comes out in front of the studio. It's like, guys, I got amazing news. We're not Concord.
I'd have to believe that like all the devs for Concord, when it officially gets shut down, like when they officially say, yeah, we're just scrapping the project in total, it's like I feel like as the developers, you got to just walk away with that going like, finally, it's over.
like effectively what happened with Redfall. It's like, oh my god, we don't have to make this game anymore.
Pretty
thank
much.
God.
Yeah, it's like, thank God. Now we can do something else so that might actually like be interesting and enjoyable.
I feel bad too, though.
I do feel bad. I really do.
You can tell that this is going to probably lead to massive layoffs.
Oh, absolutely, it will.
That just sucks.
It's like if this game truly was in development for 8 years, and it's just like, and it's like, look, Sony only gave it one trailer in one state of play, and I didn't see any other marketing material about anything at all about it, and I doubt anyone else had, because they didn't put any money into marketing because they spent so much time in the development. They didn't have it left in the budget, so it's just so you sit there going just like,
I spent 8 years of my life working on this game that I hated.
Yeah,
it failed completely, and I'm now
and it didn't make money, and I'm gonna lose my job. Yep.
Awesome.
Great.
So cool.
So awesome. Hey Sony, when are you gonna get off this stupid kick of live service games? Great.
They have 2 years yet.
It'd be real great if you just said, all right, you know what? Let's just not do this anymore.
Nope. They have 6 more games that are apparently deep in development that are releasing in the next 2 years.
Oh, boy.
Let's go, baby. We know one of them is fucking Marathon. I wonder what the others are.
That is a great question, honestly.
Man, the next couple of state of plays are going to be interesting.
Yes, they will.
It's like they're going to announce like the PS5 Pro, and it's like, oh, what are the games coming out to show off the technology for this? Well, we got 3 new live services, baby. Let's go. Concord 2.0. It won't be as bad this time.
We got Marathon. We got Redfall 2. We got stupid... what's the other thing called again?
We got a Battle
that
Royale,
piece of
guys.
shit? Yeah, I remember that piece of shit. I can just imagine as they're doing the state of play, the guys looking off screen or whatever to the director saying, "What was that game called again?"
Fucking whatever. Who cares?
Who gives a fuck?
Oh yeah, Sony wanted us to make, Fortnite crossed with Among Us, so we did that. It sucks.
Oh yeah, we got that new Horizon. We got that Horizon live service game. Yeah.
Oh my god, what a shitty idea. I forgot they were doing that.
Oh hey, and we also brought that Last of Us live service game back to life. That's coming out again.
Oh god, please, no.
Yeah, Naughty Dog, you don't have anything else to work on, so clearly you can just do that. And we'll also give you no other resources to keep up with that game or anything like that. No, not at all. None at all.
You know what frustrates the fuck out of me? It's like they have franchises that they can make into live services if they want. They have Resistance. They have Killzone. They have SOCOM. These games that they haven't put any amount of money into recently over years and years and years. They actually have good brand recognition connected to them. And Sony came out recently and were like, yeah, we don't really have that many recognizable franchises that we can make games off of anymore. And it's like,
huh?
You have Jak and Daxter, you have Sly Cooper, you have all these other franchises that you
all those other PS2 like juggernauts that existed back in that time that got people to fall in love with PlayStation and gaming, and you're just saying fuck them, we don't care.
You've been sitting on all of them doing nothing for years. And you're just going to continue doing nothing. You're going to keep investing in shit like Concord,
yep.
And then you're going to wonder why you're failing.
Yep. Great job.
Oh my god.
It's...
Alright, guys, it's official. Sony is slowly becoming the next Xbox.
Do you know, it was so funny.
Been a good round.
It's really funny that you said that because... Literally, I think a week ago, I was literally having the discussion of that with my brother. And I sat there going, Sony has truly just become... they were so far in the lead. They felt like they had such a grip when it came to the game. And they still kind of do, but they're slowly losing their grip. And it's like... I don't know. You sit there. It's like when it comes to it's like there's not a console war, but when you look at the two brands, it's like what's more recognizable at the moment. It's like Sony has more. I think has better games and has a better track record in recent years than Microsoft has had. Clearly, obviously, we've literally had discussions about that. But it's but it feels like this could be the start of a downhill trend for Sony, and I don't want that to be a thing, but. If it's happening, and this is the point where we saw where they were riding God of War Ragnarok and everything like that, they were riding high and everything like that, and then Concord happened, and Concord sent them down a spiraling downhill, and you just go, what the hell?
I think it's kind of like another basically what happened with Xbox between the 360 and Xbox One era. PlayStation kind of had that thing with the PS2, PS3 era. In that little area where they were just like, we're PlayStation. We can charge that much. We can do whatever we want. It's like, I'm sure to a certain extent they thought Concord was going to do well because it's a PlayStation game.
Yeah.
And it's like, we're not there yet. PlayStation is still doing crazy well. What we are saying is that the cracks are starting to show.
What you just explained to me is what Nintendo has become over the many Years. Basically, it's just that it really is the case. It's like Sony thought that they could be Nintendo, and they went, oh we have this game, and people will love it because it's Nintendo. That's pretty much what you just explained to me. They basically like said we could be Nintendo.
I hate it because Nintendo gets away with it.
Exactly, because they're Nintendo.
It's like when I remember when Splatoon launched and everyone was confused about it. It's like, well, it's gonna do well because it's Splatoon. It's Nintendo. Everyone's just gonna buy it anyway, and it worked. And it shouldn't have been like that. And then Pokemon Sword and Shield came out, and it was like, wow, this is the single worst looking game I've ever seen in my entire life.
It's up there.
And it moved so many copies, and so many people
Dude,
bought it.
That's the power of Pokemon, man. It's crazy.
I don't like that. I don't like that they can get away with that.
Oh, I know. Trust me. It frustrates me every time to the point that I'm just like, how does, like, I get that, like Pokemon for older and younger generations is like appealing. Like they're still, there are people like us that basically grew up on Pokemon basically, and then even well into their adulthood that they are still into Pokemon. I just don't get it. I fell off Pokemon a while back, and I played Sword and Shield because I was just like, you know what, fuck it, why not? Let's see what modern day Pokemon is like. And it was like, it was okay, I guess, but like that was about it. And I said, that is Pokemon. I also wonder to myself, it's like, how much did Pokemon Go? Like, obviously Pokemon was already big, but how much did Pokemon Go really help out? Like, get some people that weren't already big Pokemon fans into that or whatever. Like, because like back in 2016, that craze was everywhere.
Here's the thing. I think Pokemon Go did well because people love Pokemon. I don't think that got anybody into the Pokemon franchise.
I slightly disagree with you on that.
Okay.
You're right. Because a majority of the people that were downloading it were Pokemon fans already, but the thing is people love jumping on a trend. People love seeing stuff like that, and whether or not they stuck with it or not, but was it their first exposure to what Pokemon could be? For some people, maybe.
You know what? I can kind of see that, especially with a lot of the younger generation that hasn't been with Pokemon the longest time. I could see them seeing the trend of Pokemon Go, being like, okay, well, let's try this out.
Peer pressure is a powerful thing, my friend.
And that's what inspired Nintendo to make the Let's Go games with Pikachu and Eevee.
Yes, it was.
Man, I bought those games. What the fuck was I thinking?
I did not.
No, you're smarter than me, clearly.
I was just like, oh, it's just Pokemon Gen 1. I'll break out my old Game Boy Color.
Yeah, you see, I'm here complaining about that, being like, well, Nintendo shouldn't be able to get away with this. But then I buy it.
Yeah.
I buy it every single time.
Yep.
Because I'm a bitch. That's like, well, it's probably good. It looks cute.
Yeah. It's how they always get you. It's how they always get you. They know just Nintendo has this uncanny ability to know which buttons to press to go. I don't want to do it, but come on, come on.
It's not fair.
Of course, it's not fair.
It's never fair.
It's like why do you think that like everyone sees Legend of Zelda and then they just go, oh, it's Zelda, Legend of Zelda, oh my god. And they go, wow, it's, just a remake of another game or whatever. Or, I guess technically the new Zelda game is actually a new Zelda game, but, like, eh?
Oh yeah, that the one that's a sequel to Link's Awakening or whatever?
Yeah.
It looks interesting.
Yeah. It's like you actually play as Zelda, which I guess, that's why everyone memes about The Legend of Link, but,
Haven't done that since the CDI.
It's been a while. Shifting to a different topic. Did you see the trailer for the Minecraft movie?
Yeah.
What?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, no, I've seen that. I was hoping that when, they said Jack Black was going to be Steve, I thought they would at least give him a costume of some sort.
A costume, or maybe, like, CG just them, like, in, like, the blocky form? No, it's just Jack Black.
They just said, oh yeah, wear a blue t-shirt.
Yeah, just wear a blue t-shirt and some gray
Black
pants and hey, I'm Steve. And I'm like, what? That also, the sheep and the llama are just unsettling to look at.
Why wasn't that an animated movie? Why are they doing live action for Minecraft?
Right? Like, when they said they were casting Jack Black as Steve, I said to myself, so this is going to be like a CG animated thing or whatever, and he's just going to voice act Steve?
Yeah, I assumed this was going to be like the Mario movie or something like that.
Yeah.
It was just going to be all CGI.
Apparently it's just live action. And I went, what? Huh?
How do you... mods that work for Minecraft. It looks so ugly.
You know the thing that really pisses me off the most about this. This looks to be the level of like the Borderlands movie in my mind, but because it's Minecraft, it will make money.
No, it looks worse than Borderlands. It's like, how did you stoop lower than the Borderlands movie?
Like, are we going back?
Shouldn't be possible.
Are we going back into like the era where all video game adaptation movies are just bad?
No. Here's what they're doing. They're pulling a Concord. Going back to that conversation, they saw the trend being like, okay, Mario did well, Sonic did super well, let's make a fucking Borderlands movie. Let's make a fucking Minecraft movie. And then they think, oh, we can just shit this out and it'll be perfect. This is something that people like now. They like video game shit. So we're going to make video game shit and people will like it. And then Borderlands comes out, and it's out of theaters in less than 2 weeks.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then Minecraft will come out. Nobody will like it. It'll be out within a month. And there will be endless amounts of YouTube videos clowning on it. And that will be that movie's legacy.
Pretty much.
And then fucking Disney is going to break a brain order or whatever because they're releasing The Lion King Mufasa next to Sonic the Hedgehog 3, and Sonic the Hedgehog is going to make more money than The Lion King! Sorry, I don't know what happened to me there.
The rage just filled your bowels and you just had to go with it. And you know the thing is, I agree with every point you made.
It's gonna be so funny if Sonic the Hedgehog makes more money than Mufasa
It's
does.
crazy to me to think that the Sonic trailer came out or like a week, and then a week later we get the Minecraft movie, and then you said they're going just like, wow, you can tell one got put way more time and effort into it than the other. And I know this is the third Sonic movie or whatever, and it's like, but
you can tell though somebody wanted to actually
wants to make the Sonic movie, whereas clearly whoever's making the Minecraft movie doesn't give two shits. They were given a bunch of money, basically told they were making a Minecraft movie, and then it's just like, oh, we have to spend this much on CG, and then we got 3 kids or like 2 kids, another person, and Jason Momoa. Why the fuck is Jason Momoa here as well? By the way, I didn't even.
Because he's a big actor and they like money. They think if we cast celebrities, more people will come.
Yep.
Oh my god. Why is Jack Black connected to all these bad video game projects?
I don't know, man.
Because he was in the Mario movie and that was okay. But
yeah,
then he
Bowser.
agreed to do Borderlands after that.
Yeah. And
that was... You said you actually kind of liked the Borderlands movie. I'm curious.
Okay, yeah, I'll talk a little bit about that since we're on the chat. It wasn't a good movie. I'll say that first off, but I didn't hate it to the point that I feel like a lot of other people hated it. Like critics gave it a 0 on IMDb, and it's like reading it. It's like you can tell these were movie critics that knew nothing about the Borderlands franchise and anything like that.
Yeah.
So it's just like they were talking about how they never explained anything about like, oh, what's the jargon about this or whatever. It's like, it's all just video game jargon bullshit, and I don't care. I don't understand anything about it or whatever type thing. 0 out of 10, terrible movie. And I went, look, now I'll say this: the casting for the two main the main character and Lilith was bad. The casting of Roland was bad. Krieg, he didn't do anything. He was a big dude, and they used lines from the game. That's really it. He didn't say. I guarantee he didn't say a single word in that costume. Basically, like they used lines from the game, and he was just a big dude. So that doesn't count. But I will say this: the girl who played Tiny Tina actually did a phenomenal job. I thought
she looked like she did a good job.
She actually really enjoyed the character of Tiny Tina, I could tell, and actually did a very good job with mannerisms and like how she would talk.
You okay? Mannerisms?
Yeah. It's kind of like gestures, mannerisms.
No, mannerisms,
Oh.
not mannerisms.
Whatever, close enough. I'm not having a stroke, I promise. But anyway, it's just like, I don't know, like that like, and obviously like she plays a smaller part or whatever. But also the thing about this is like it's again a movie that doesn't know whether it wants to be a Borderlands movie or it wants to be just a generally like introduce people to a Borderlands and like what the game series is and anything like that. And it does something completely different, wild and off the rails.
Mm-hmm.
Also, it never does anything with highlighting any of the weapons. You know, the main thing Borderlands is known for. There's no shields. There's only one mention of a legendary gun, basically, with very little like other characters other than like Tannis who shows up. Which again, I don't understand why Jamie Lee Curtis was again the cast, because why we're making her an old lady, I don't know. Also, I just want to point out that it's just like the movie starts out with them going like, Lily walks into a bar after doing a job and goes, I'm too old for this shit. And I'm like, oh, so we're doing like old Lilith, which doesn't make any damn sense because when in the first game she's actually quite young still. But you know, that's just me. It's like we could have done much better on that one, but
I mean, this movie takes place between Borderlands 2 and 3.
I wouldn't even say that. I would not even say that, because the whole thing is that they're finding the vault, which this is the plot point of Borderlands 1, is that they're going to find the vault key and they're going to open the vault, basically, because Atlas CEO Dickwad or whatever says we need to do this because I want money and power. And that's how the movie ends. They open the vault, and the Atlas dude gets trapped in there, and the Destroyer of Worlds eats him. I don't think anyone cares about spoilers.
All right, then.
It's like, so it's just like, it takes place between Borderlands 1 and 2, and I go, no, it doesn't, because they hadn't opened the vault for the first time. Lilith isn't even a siren until she like tries to open the vault, basically. And it's like, really? We don't. And like none of the classes are like introduced, like are really highlighted or whatever. Again, why the hell is Krieg there? It should have been Brick, and Mordecai should have been there too from the first game if we really wanted to do that. You can't tell me you couldn't get like David Bautista or something like that to play Brick. What the fuck, man? He would have been perfect.
Yeah, but people like Krieg, so they had to include Krieg.
Yeah, clearly. I don't know. It was fine. I didn't hate it. I didn't like it, though. Yeah, and it was just like, and then it's just like, also, it's just like, again, it's like Jack Black's character in Claptrap, which again, since he's just a voice, why don't we just get the Claptrap voice actor to do it? I don't know. Instead, we're going to pay Jack Black to do it just to make stupid, witty humor that is very forced and not funny at all.
I don't know, man. It's that whole movie is a fucking.
Oh yeah, it is a mess. It's a mess. It wasn't good. It wasn't as bad as they were saying, though.
No.
It's like the end part was like really cool when they were fighting the dickhead Atlas dude or whatever, where he was just like, where it was just like, oh, Lilith finally awoke into her siren powers or whatever because she realized she was the Firehawk, because that was really obvious from the get-go. But, you know, it's just whatever. I mean, I also had background knowledge, but it's just like, we all know. Everyone should know.
Yeah.
Well, the thing is like, they played off the movie as, like, Tiny Tina was supposed to be the siren that opens the vault in the end. But they were using a very minor plot point in Tina's character, and I'm like, why? I don't know, but I guess it was like a reason for plot to happen or something like that, because that's the whole reason that it happens is because the Atlas guy is trying to track down Tina because he believes that she can open the vault. Sure.
Why not?
Yeah, you know, but it is what it is. But yeah, the ending scene was cool, where the siren powers were exactly like how they are in the game and everything like that. And overall, it's like The only thing that I think the things that would have made it like more interesting or at least like bearable at some point is if they were to like showed off some of the guns or whatever. Like they had like actual models of like certain guns or whatever, but then made no mention to what they were or anything like that. Or like it was just like, oh, they were exploring around this area. Dude, you just found like a legendary pistol. That's crazy, man. Like you could have just done that. That's the Kempt Herald. That's crazy. Like, it's as simple as that. Like, they could have done something like that or whatever. Like I said, there was one mention of, like, a legendary gun, and it's, like, right at the beginning of the movie when Lilith lands on Pandora and makes it to Sanctuary for the first time. Because you see Marcus Munitions, which, again, Jack Black was not playing, which I don't know why he wasn't, because he was perfect casting for it. But, I mean, the guy they got was pretty good. Like, he looked the part and everything.
I mean, you gotta have him in the iconic role of Claptrap, right?
Yeah, clearly. But it was just like, oh yeah, he's like, I see an infinity pistol when I know one, and it was just like, so it's like, oh wow, they mentioned infinity pistol. That's kind of cool because it's it's one of the more iconic legendaries in Borderlands 2, which again, Borderlands 2, because you'll notice a lot of reference in the movie are all the Borderlands 2 and rarely to 1. And this is where I go, so why did we not just do Borderlands 2's plot point and just cast somebody as Handsome Jack? And then you could have had a lot of the movie center around Handsome Jack and everything like that, where he could have popped some of his very, very funny jokes that are in the games or whatever. And you could have seen a diamond encrusted pony and butt stallion. Would have been great. But no, instead we did this. And it will not get a sequel, considering it only made like what, $8 million?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And like I said, they pulled that out of theaters.
Oh yeah, it's not even in theaters anymore. So, which do we think is going to be a bigger failure, the Minecraft or Borderlands?
I think Borderlands.
Yeah, because it's Minecraft.
Minecraft at least has like it has like you said, it's Minecraft, so it's gonna make money. Plus, they have Jack Black and Jason Momoa for whatever reason.
Man, the kids won't even care about that. Like,
no, they won't. They'll go.
The adults that will drag their 8-year-old kids there because it's like, it's Minecraft. It's Minecraft. It's like, well, I guess at least we might have some funny jokes to Jack Black and Jason Momoa.
And they're stupid children, so they'll probably love it.
Yeah, exactly. And they'll post on Twitter or something like that about how good it was, even though it was probably gonna be ass.
Go up to their TikTok audience. Hey guys, don't believe the haters. Minecraft is fucking sick.
Yeah. Come on, it's Minecraft, man. Remember when that creeper blew up behind Jason Momoa? That was crazy, man. I can't believe you lived that.
My mommy bought me my special popcorn bucket, and it was sick.
Exactly. It's got a creeper face on it and everything. Look at this thing. Go spend your $40 on this.
My God.
Oh, I can already see.
What kind of message is that going to send to Microsoft?
So what?
What kind of message do you think that's going to send to Microsoft? It's like, we don't need to put any attention in any of these. Fuck it.
I mean, yeah, people will play Minecraft just because the movie came out, too.
Oh, yeah. This is going to make a bunch of money for them. It'll suck, but it's going to do great.
Oh, yeah. It'll suck, but it'll make money. It's like every kids movie ever.
Mm.
I'll be honestly curious. Is like I know this isn't necessarily a demographic, but I was like, I'd be very curious to see if there's like a demographic like breakdown of like age range of people watching this. Like, what's the average age of like people watching this? I don't think that's actually a thing, but like it could be.
They're not going to keep track of that.
Yeah. Be very curious though.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, are you going to see like a bunch of like, teenage kids or something like that in there, and then like you'll have like, it'll be like 3 teenage kids to like one, I don't know, 30, 40-year-old person or something like that, and then you'll just skip you'll almost like skip the 30-year-old demographic.
Probably. I think a lot of the like teenage crowd is going to be like the teenagers that went in to go watch like Despicable Me 3 with suits and they just acted like assholes the entire time.
Yeah.
That may be like a thing for the Minecraft movie, but
Yeah, don't do that. If you're, just don't do that. Be nice. Be nice to the people at the movie theater because they don't deserve
nobody
it.
ever is. If you watch like TikTok stuff on like that, it's pretty popular to act like a giant piece of shit.
Oh, I know, but
to everybody.
Oh, I know, but it's just like you
But
know,
no,
just
it's
don't.
gonna be
Just
split,
don't.
It's gonna be split pretty evenly between, you know, families and children and content creators. Looking to be as obnoxious as humanly possible.
Oh, that is a good question. So, in the Minecraft movie, how many like Minecraft content creators do you think will be in that?
Like in the actual
Like,
movie?
like you just have like little cameos or something like that, or maybe like you'll hear like a voice line from them.
Zero.
I
don't
agree
think a
with that.
single one of them is gonna show up. Because I don't think they care.
No.
I mean, what dedicated Minecraft content creators are there still?
You know
Or,
that
like,
I said that, and then I was like, I don't really know who's a dedicated Minecraft like creator. I have no idea.
because obviously, you know, Minecraft is still crazy popular. Like, plenty of streamers like still play Minecraft and stuff like that. But in terms of like dedicated creators, a lot of those people that were on that train moved on to Grand Theft Auto Online, and when that stopped being popular, they moved on to Valorant or Fortnite or whatever the fuck. It's like whatever is popular, man. That's usually what those kind of content creators will stick to.
Yeah.
It's just one of those games that's never going to lose steam because, you know, it's Minecraft. But I don't think there are any like dedicated creators for it anymore.
No, I can't. I can't imagine there's a ton, right? At least
Yeah.
none that I know of. I was just curious. I went on to
Yeah.
the trending page on to YouTube. Guess what the number one most trending thing is?
Minecraft?
Yup. It's the Minecraft movie. Who could have guessed it?
I mean, the trailer came out today, so obviously people are still going to be talking about it.
I know, but it's just like I love how it's just like, I scroll down. It's like everyone's reaction to it is pretty much like the next like 7 things. Oh man, I tell you.
I think it's awesome that, you know, the Sonic the Hedgehog trailer is as hype as it is.
I still
The
haven't.
fact-
I
the
still haven't
fucking-
watched it.
The fucking turnaround for that movie, man. It's like everybody thought the first movie was going to be like the worst thing of all time, and then they changed his design, and all of a sudden it's, you know, praised by everybody. It gets a sequel that everybody loves, and now it's getting a third one that basically everyone's raving about.
Like I you know, people always say it's like, oh, the big change or whatever, like the design change or whatever of like Sonic and everything like that. It wasn't a major factor. I disagree. I was like, if we had saw that first movie with the original design, I don't think people would have liked it as much.
No, absolutely not.
It's like there is a universe out there that they watch that movie with the original like design of it, and it was ass. It wasn't good. Like, people couldn't stomach it, and I was like, yeah. And then they never made sequels.
I think also changing the design showed people that they were dedicated to making this like an actually good movie. Whereas, like, if they had just kept that shitty design, probably not as many people would have been into it.
Yeah. I don't know. It's just like, yeah, it is really interesting. It's just like, yeah, they clearly do care or whatever. That's why they, you know, delayed it and took that time. So it's just like, if they hadn't or whatever, it wouldn't have worked out. But yeah, because it did. I've never really heard anyone else talk about the Minecraft trailer or whatever. I'm be curious to see if like, are people like actually super hyped for it or whatever, or be like, is it like why, or they're like our reaction of like, why is this not just animated? Which clearly they're not going to change it, but
No, they're not. They already put enough money into it. They already have all the actors and the scenes done for it.
yeah. Well.
Why the fuck does Jason Momoa look like that in this movie?
Don't know. I assume he's supposed to be like. Well, What do you legitimately think like the plot of this is going to be? Like, do you think this is just like people who got like sucked into the Minecraft world or whatever, or just like, and this is just their life now? You know, like, and they're like trying to find their way back home or something like that.
I mean, I feel like it's going to be like, oh yeah, you got sucked into this video game. No, you know what? I bet Jason Momoa is like the dad or whatever, and it's like, oh man, my kid spends too much time playing these dumb video games.
Oh, you were thinking it was the dad? No, I was thinking he was gonna be like some like the loser adult guy or whatever that basically just sits down in his like basement and plays Minecraft all day.
Oh.
But I'm like, Jason Momoa is too cool for that. But just looking at his character, it's like I could see that being a thing, but I can also see what you're saying as well. It's like he's the dad trying to connect with like his like kids or something like that, trying to play Minecraft or something. I could see that.
Then Jack Black is somehow supposed to be Minecraft Steve.
This is where we find out that the whole plot point of Minecraft Steve is that like, oh, he's been stuck in this world for how long, and that's why Jack Black looks, you know, why Steve looks that old. Or whatever, and he's just like, I've been trying to find my way to the Ender Dragon and to slay the Ender Dragon so I could go home.
Yeah, they're going to. That's what I think is going to happen. They're going to have to slay the Ender Dragon. Then a portal lets the main characters home, and you know Jack Black is like, I can't do it. This is my home now.
Yeah,
I have to be the new king of Minecraft.
But do we think that Herobrine is just going to be like Jack Black with like CGI just white eyes?
Sure.
I don't know. Do you think they're even going to do anything with that? I don't fucking who the fuck knows.
No, absolutely not.
I just like how it's called a Minecraft movie. Like they didn't even try and come up with like they didn't want to just call it Minecraft. They wanted to call it or whatever. They like it's just a Minecraft. They didn't even make the fucking font the same like thing or whatever either. Like they just like it was just white letters. Fucking looks like shit. Ugh.
Zero fucks were given for this movie.
It truly was.
I'm looking at the teaser right now, and it's like. Yeah, they just kind of show up from a portal or whatever.
Yeah. But the portal doesn't even shut behind them, so it's like, why not just leave in the portal?
Leave?
Yeah. Like, if you walked into a world that looked like that, one of two things would happen. I'd either say, well, I took way too many drugs, and I'm going back home, type thing, or, fuck this shit, I'm out, and I would just leave. It's just silly.
Yeah.
I cannot wait until it's just like we're either gonna have like spot on like predictions for the plot, or it's just gonna be, or it'll be like something like even more ridiculous than what we said.
Yeah. You know what I absolutely hate?
Yeah.
Going back to an earlier conversation, I'm saying this looks like crap and no one should want to go see this. I'm still probably going to give it money so I can go watch it.
I'll give it $1 pass.
Yeah, why not? Wait, it's not being made by Disney, is it?
It's Warner Brothers.
Okay, good. Fuck me. Dude, you have no idea how upset I was when I went in to see Alien and I was like, oh yeah, that movie is somehow also being made by Disney. 2 weeks, no $1 passes. Ay.
Was the Alien movie any good?
Yes. Alien Romulus was crazy good.
Oh, that's good.
It was fantastic.
I hadn't heard anything about it prior to that, so I was just curious.
Yeah, it's more reminiscent of, the sequel Aliens as opposed to the first movie. In that sense, but
okay.
I had fun with it.
Yeah, nice.
Good movie.
All right. Well, what'd you think? Should we call this one?
Yeah, I think so.
Sounds good to me. So, thank y'all so much for listening to another episode. Be sure to follow the podcast. Be sure to tell people about the podcast and everything like that. And follow my co-hosts over there. Follow everything that you can. All the links are down below in the description, YouTube, whatever. All that good stuff. And see y'all next week. Bye-bye.